Picture this. A car so polite it wouldn't dare make you shift gears, yet so absurdly clever it could drive just as fast in reverse as it could forward. A car that looked like it was designed by someone whose only tools were a ruler, a pencil, and unshakable optimism. That car was the 1961 DAF Daffodil, the Dutch masterpiece that turned driving backward into an art form. Before we dive into this charming tale of innovation, quirkiness, and a bit of chaos on wheels, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you don't want to miss the weird and wonderful corners of automotive history we dig up here. Now, let's rewind, literally and figuratively, to the Netherlands in the early 1960s. Eindhoven wasn't just the home of Philips light bulbs. It was also where two brothers, Huub and Wim van Doorn, decided to change driving forever. Their company, DAF, short for Van Doorn's Eindhoven Fabric, meaning Van Doorn's Trailer Factory, had already made a name for itself building reliable trucks. But Huub, the engineering genius of the pair, wanted something different. He dreamed of a car that anyone could drive. No clutch, no jerky gear shifts, just simplicity and smoothness. That dream took shape as the DAF 600 in 1958, the first production car in the world with a continuously variable transmission, or CVT, decades before other automakers caught up. By 1961, that idea evolved into the DAF 750, and from it bloomed a more stylish, more refined sibling, the DAF Daffodil. The name was meant to sound friendly and approachable, a flower among machines. Underneath its unassuming little body was pure mechanical wizardry. The Variomatic transmission, DAF's crown jewel, replaced traditional gears with a pair of rubber belts and variable pulleys that automatically adjusted to maintain the ideal ratio. It was as if the car had a brain of its own, always in the right gear without you lifting a finger. No clutch pedal, no shifting, just a single lever on the dashboard marked forward, neutral, and reverse. But here's the fun part. The Variomatic didn't care which direction you were going. Forward or backward, it gave you the full range of speed. That meant the Daffodil could do 60 miles per hour in reverse. And yes, the Dutch noticed. Soon, reverse racing became a national pastime. Crowds gathered to watch drivers tear around tracks backwards, engines screaming and tires smoking, all in perfect control. It was chaotic, hilarious, and completely unique to DAF. The Daffodil wasn't just a novelty, though. Its engineering was deeply practical. It used an air-cooled 746cc flat-twin engine, producing around 30 horsepower, enough to move its featherweight 660-kilogram body with surprising pep. Its independent suspension gave it comfort on the cobblestones, and the rear-wheel drive setup delivered confident handling, whether you were parking or unintentionally driving into the canal. Speaking of canals, early DAF owners quickly learned a valuable lesson. Always use the handbrake. Because of its centrifugal clutch, if you parked on a slope without it, the car might slowly roll away, sometimes into water. Dutch newspapers even joked that DAFs were the only cars that could swim. Visually, the Daffodil looked as cheerful as its name suggested. A soft, rounded body with a wide grille and big glass area. Early versions had an almost cartoonish charm, earning nicknames like the Smiling Crocodile. Later models, especially those updated by Italian designer Giovanni Michelotti, took on sharper lines and subtle tail fins, chasing a hint of 1960s glamour while keeping the friendly face. Inside, the simplicity continued. No tachometer, no unnecessary gadgets, just basic switches, a big steering wheel, and that famous little gear lever that confused every new driver. The air-cooled engine meant there was no radiator, and unfortunately not much of a heater either. In Dutch winters, the Daffodil's heating system gave its best effort, but lukewarm was about as far as it went. Still, the Daffodil's charm lay in its practicality. It offered 4 seats, solid fuel economy, around 35 to 40 miles per gallon, and reliability that rivaled the Volkswagen Beetle. And while it never achieved global fame, it represented something beautifully human, engineering built not for speed or status, but for simplicity and accessibility. Between 1961 and 1967, DAF built roughly 150,000 units across different versions, the DAF 20, 31, and 32, including wagons, vans, and even a tiny pickup. Very few survive today, making them rare collectibles. In 1967, the DAF 33 took over, and by the 1970s, Volvo bought the car division, continuing to use the Variomatic in their small cars. In hindsight, the Daffodil was decades ahead of its time. Modern CVTs in hybrids and compact cars trace their roots back to this Dutch oddball. What DAF invented in the 1950s wouldn't become mainstream until nearly half a century later. Today, a pristine Daffodil might fetch $5,000 to $9,000 at auction, a small price for a piece of history that literally redefined motion. It's one of those cars that didn't change the world with speed or power, but with cleverness, character, and a refusal to take itself too seriously. So next time someone brags about their sports car, ask them this: can it go 60 miles per hour backward? Because the little DAF Daffodil could, and it did so with a smile.